Hello and welcome back to Vault Hunters. We are back on a brand new update. This is update 7. So with this, there's a lot of new stuff we want to explore today, one of which being the new pickaxes. Before we get started, I want to go ahead and give a huge shout out to our channel members. They are listed here on the screen. Thank you all so much. You help support what we do here as a community and me personally as well. So thank you guys so much. And if you would like to become a channel member and help out the cause, help out the server, help out everything else, the link is down in the description. So previously we had our black chromatic pickaxe with a couple jewels on it, but you'll see now this says it is legacy. So no longer is this going to be a valid item within the vaults. It's valid for now. We can still continue to use them until they break, but we cannot craft any new ones of this. We need a whole new system. So we'll take this thing and put it away. So there is a brand new block that we are going to want to create, a new tool for us. This is called the tool station. This is what we are going to use to craft our new pickaxes. So I need to find a spot for this. I don't think I ever really used this crafting table, so I guess this can go right here along the side. And there it is. There is the new tool station. I'm going to want to place that a different orientation. I don't like that. There we go. Now it looks a little bit better. So this is the new interface we use to craft our pickaxes. There's multiple different tiers of them. There's the chromatic iron, the chromatic steel. Oh, that one requires level 35. So I guess the only two that we can craft right now are the first two in there. There's some additional other ones. I know this is a melding one. There's an echoing one in here. And then there's like a prismatic one towards the bottom here. I believe the prismatic one costs 9 omega pogs. So I don't think that's something we're going to be creating. But since we have the ability, we can go ahead and craft ourselves a brand new chromatic steel pick. And so that means we're going to have to put together some chromatic steel. Luckily, we should have enough carbon to pull this off. We need a total of, I think it said 9 of them. I'll just go ahead and craft 9. That way I've got 9 anyway. We're going to need some other things in here as well. The chromatic steel pick needs some driftwood, some vault gold, and wutotic mass. So we'll put some of these things in the little storage it has up here for it so we can keep track of it. Driftwood, we're just going to grab a stack of that. We have a ton of driftwood. Yeah, 4K, so we've got plenty of driftwood. We also need some vault gold. Now, we have 200. We have been saving up. I haven't been spending this a whole lot, so luckily I have an absolute ton of vault gold. But the last thing that we need is that wutotic, or I don't even know how to say it, the mass that we need. And we can look that up here in JEI. It's one of these, yeah, this one here, the wutotic mass. It is crafted with a perfect wutadye and a bunch of vault essence. So let's craft us up a perfect wutadye. Actually, we'll craft 4 because it's something we have quite a bit of. The rest of it is vault essence, and we have a whole ton of that. So we're going to hit the plus here, drop these in here, and we're going to make 4. Actually, it looks like I have some more. We'll go ahead and start with 4 wutotic mass. So these pickaxes are a whole new system. We'll go ahead and craft this one here. We may also craft an axe. I'm not sure what we want first. I want to be able to break wooden chests easily. That's like one of the fastest things. So we may start with the axe and mess around with this a little bit. The cool thing about these are we need additional pieces to make this thing better. One of those things we're going to need are jewels. These are found within the vaults. They are found in completion crates, gilded chests, treasure chests, and of course it looks like they can be found in treasure sand as well. Our best opportunity is the completion crates and gilded chests. So if we run another vault here, which we're going to be doing today, we're going to be looking for these jewels to be able to give us, some additional features here on our pickaxe. Or well, not our pickaxe, but our axe at this point. So from what I understand, this is going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm pretty sure spawners cannot break very easily in the vaults. I'm going to go ahead and bring my old pickaxe in for now. I think that's a smart idea. But we're going to bring the new chromatic steel axe. I'm actually going to end up overloading my hotbar because I want to try this thing out a little bit. I want to see what all is involved with this. I know we can upgrade these with things like jewels, which we can find in the vaults. We can also craft them up as well. So The Vault Forge has something new in it here, which is the Jewel. The gemstones can be found in wooden chests, along with silver scrap, all the other stuff. We'll talk about the bounty pearl here in a second, because that's something new as well. So basically, in order to craft ourselves a new jewel, we're going to need to find these gemstones. We're going to have to be running some more vaults here to figure this stuff out. But we also need the Wutotic Silver and Vault Bronze. The Wutotic Silver is not too bad. The Wutotic Silver ingot basically is the silver scrap surrounding a perfect Wootadai. So that one's not too horrible. I think we actually have some silver scrap. Yeah, we got 304 silver scrap, so we're pretty good on that. But the only way to really kind of figure this stuff out is just to kind of run in. Now, these jewels here are legacy. They are no longer able to be used, and so we're going to basically keep one of whatever we can. We're just going to keep these as kind of like, I don't know, mementos from this season. But they do have a soul value of 1024, so we can smelt them down and get quite a bit. Oh, wow, 5,376. Yeah, we get quite a bit of soul dust out of this. So if we turn this into soul shards, let's see, we have 736 now. There's at least, I don't know, probably 3 to 4 stacks here that we can craft up with all of that. 5,000 of them, are you kidding me? You know, so there's quite a bit here. I'm going to go ahead and craft all these up. There we go. And we now have 1,349 shards. That's crazy. Let's check the black market. Let's see. There's a Seal the Confectioner, which is pretty good. Cake vaults are always fun. Fundamental Focus, that's a pretty good one too for only 376. Yeah. Ooh, what's that? A Resilient Focus? Oh, Black Chromatic Steel. Buying that one. Okay, we are officially out. Oh, looks like you can get jewels in the black market as well. Oh, for only 435. That's not too bad. Okay, very cool. At least we got some black chromatic iron out of that. Black chromatic steel, sorry. All right, so I think the only proper thing to do at this point is to hop into a vault and see what's going on here. Now, this is a level 31 vault because it's an older crystal, but it's still something we can use. All right, so this is actually the first time we have come across the Nether theme. This is one of the ones that's got lava everywhere, so that's not fun. And soil everywhere, so it looks like this is going to be fun. Now here there's a lot of stuff that can just set you complete. Yeah, things like that. There is just lava everywhere. So this is not a very good tool for hitting mobs, as you saw there. Took a ton of hits and still did not die. Oh yes, I forgot we have piglins in this one, or whatever these things are. Pigmen. Alright, luckily that spawner fizzled. Oh, I see a problem already. We don't have a magnet, so I kind of have to pick everything up manually. How painful. Okay, so we found our first bounty pearl. We'll put this in our inventory here. The bounty pearls are what we actually have to use now to re-roll things like the bounties. Okay, good. We can still put water down here, which is a huge plus. I was afraid that the Nether theme wouldn't allow us to place water down. Alright, so I'm realizing I am very ill prepared for this vault in a couple different ways. One of which being there are things like wither skeletons in here now, and I don't have any kind of wither immunity or anything like that, and my pickaxe is super slow. And I don't have a magnet. I think I'm going to need a magnet before I can kind of get back into this too, because my current game plan has been throwing things out of my inventory. And even with all my armor and everything else that I have, yeah, there's a wither skeleton there. They will wither you. Luckily, they're not too hard to kill, but if you don't have any kind of wither affinity or immunity, that's very difficult to actually get past. So we're going to run this. We're going to get a bunch of stuffs and things. And then I'll bring you guys back here closer to the end of the vault, or if I run into anything really cool. But this is my first Nether-themed vault. I also realized I need to add soul speed to my boots, because without soul speed, you hit all this soul shard stuff, get back, and you have a hard time. So definitely need to find some living chests, because I need the drowned hides. Got some ornate ones down here. We'll flood this with water a little bit to help give us a buffer here. Alright, so I've only been in this vault like 5-ish minutes, something like that, maybe a little bit less, and I've actually already found all of the items that I need. Now, one thing I am realizing, one of the advantages to this lava is a lot of these mobs spawn either right in the lava or right beside the lava and end up walking into the lava, and so they end up killing themselves directly in the lava, which I think is hilarious. So I think we have everything. We have, yeah, 11 mob essence, We have our 2 drowned hides. We found those. We have our 2 sacks. We've got a total of 16 rip pages. I did not go all out on this vault. I just got what I needed to get out of here because this was a little bit different than I actually expected. I definitely need to have a magnet before I come back in, I think. However, we did get enough XP, it looks like, to level up. 6,000 XP. Nice. All right, we are level 35 now. All right, not what I would call the most successful vault, but we did get our scavenger crate, and there are some interesting things that I can see in there up top. Let's open this up. Okay, so I see some jewels in there, which is a really good thing. We'll throw the carbon, diamonds, and other junk in here. Another blank seal. Those are always good to have. But I see the 2 jewels, one of which adds smelting. I don't really think I want smelting. That sounds kind of useless, I guess you would say, because I can do way cooler things than smelting. So we'll put this up in here. We'll have like a jewel chest here. But the other one is a 4.2% plus 4.2 mining speed, which is a tier 4. And it's only a 28 size. Oh, so if we add this one to, well, I'll probably want to make a pickaxe, but we can add this one to a pickaxe and get 4.2% mine, or plus 4.2 mining speed, which is awesome. We also got a shield, and we'll go ahead and put the shield in here into the junk drawer. Now, you saw I had a magnet in there because I didn't know what I was doing, but I wanted to take a note here real quick. When I searched magnet, I actually have 3 unidentified magnets in my store. Well, actually 4 unidentified magnets. That one's got a soul value and these do not. I don't know if these were just the used ones or how this works. Okay, roll Scrappy Plus. Interesting. So these were the magnets that I had created and crafted last time around. So before this magnet update, and I think we can roll these. Yeah, so we can actually roll these and get a magnet back to us. Hopefully we get something good. It is a magnet. We'll compare that one to this one here, and this one's just got a better range. Let's go ahead and roll the rest of these magnets. I don't see why not. I don't see if that'll hurt anything. And this one is, well, actually almost exactly the same as that one, technically worse, less repairs. So now that the magnet situation is taken care of, we're back over here on Create Island. Now, we have made some really cool changes, one of which being that up there. So in the last episode, we fired up the nuclear reactor, and it is working really well. It's off right now, and it's off for a reason, and I'll talk about that here in just a second. So down below here, you can see we've added a bunch of stuff over here. Now I'm going to refer you to the Master CWG for his amazing ability to decipher a lot of redstone spaghetti for the most part. And he helped me out, and we went ahead and created a massive circuit that controls the reactor. The reactor is now completely automated. And it's automated off of a few different things, one of which being high temperature. And if we look at the back of the reactor, there are 2 fission reactor logic adapters. This one here is set for high temperature, so it outputs a redstone signal if the reactor gets too hot. This one over here is an activation one. So if the reactor gets too hot, it sends a redstone signal to this. This goes downstairs through some logic, and then we'll either, if the reactor's on, it will turn the reactor off. Now there's a couple other things we needed to be safe about as well, one of which I mentioned before was the waste. And as for the waste, what we're doing here is we are taking a comparator output off of a radioactive waste barrel. Now this one will only fill up if all of these down here fill up. So it's just a safety thing, a buffer thing. If this one fills up, we still have this and the internal buffer, but we want to turn it off before we even start using the internal buffer. So that's the point of this. So this comparator outputs a redstone signal. Now this redstone signal is inverted right here through this redstone torch, and this is the redstone link that will turn off the reactor. But we also want a couple other ways to turn the reactor off too. You see we have 2 receivers here. These are the wireless redstone receiver links, and one of them goes up to here. Now that's the one I think that I was showing you there on the side. The way this works is there is a long line of redstone coming off of a comparator, off of a port on the induction matrix. And what this does is it will basically output a redstone signal depending on how much energy is in the induction matrix. So that's like our battery, our storage. So if we hop up here, we can see now this redstone line. And if we compare it to how much power we have, so 5.56 out of 6.4, we will see that this only goes so far before it gets to 0, which is right here. So basically, you know, just the top little piece is missing, which is exactly what we see there at the top here. Top little piece is missing. So it's relevant to how much power is in the induction matrix. So if this redstone line gets completely full, it will turn off the reactor. Now, if this goes clear down far enough to where this redstone link is deactivated, so basically the power is drained enough that this one deactivates. Now, it won't drain completely. We still have a one little buffer there. But if it gets drained most of the way, this redstone link will deactivate, causing the reactor to turn on. And then this one will stay in that manner until it gets back up to here. And once it gets completely full, this one will then activate and turn off the reactor. We're using some pretty fancy create stuff here, and CWG did this because he has create unlocked, using a create latch. And that's what all these redstone links all work through, because we want the system to be able to be turned off with any of the reasons you would want to turn it off: waste, full power, or high temperature. So we have all three options here that will turn the reactor off. So basically, if any of these activate, it will provide redstone signal to this here, thus turning the reactor off. So it's kind of it's a huge safety mechanism switch there. But it also keeps our reactor from running all the time whenever our power is full, because if the power gets full and then gets full in the steam turbine, it could actually overheat the system and cause a explosion. So we don't want it to run all the time. This will also save us a whole lot of energy too as well, because it's not going to be running just whenever it needs a little tiny bit. It will wait to run until it needs a lot of power in the battery. So that's the idea behind that whole fancy redstone logic that we've got going on here. And it seems to work really well. We've tested it, and it seems to work. So we should have a pretty safe and stable reactor at this point. So we are just currently working on creating more and more fissile fuel. And I've added some chests here and stuff like that to feed these items into the machines, such as the yellow cake here, which we are almost out of, by the way, and gunpowder, which we need for the sulfuric acid and stuff like that. So, yeah, this is working really well. The next step for all of this is we need to automate the waste processing. One of the things we want to make eventually is replace that fission reactor with a fusion reactor, which basically only requires essentially water and lithium to work and create the fuel it needs, and it will basically create us unlimited power. Both of those items we can create very easily with some thermal evaporation tanks and just water pumps. All right, this is going to be it for me today. I really appreciate you all tagging along on this journey, and I will see you all in the next episode.